Here's the scene. You're out looking for books. Maybe you're at the library. A great picture book is your mission. But there are so many books to look through. And then, a small gold circle on the cover of a rather delicious-looking picture book. And it has a spider, a web, a pig. Indeed it is, my friend. That's the mark of an E.B White Read Aloud Award winner. And just like pulling a spring jacket out of storage and finding a crisp $50 bill tucked into the front pocket, you've just found a reason to smile. Hey everybody, I'm Eli Stouth. This is Read to Your Kids, and today I have 3 more picture books lined up. These 3 are all fantastic reads, and it's not just me that thinks so. Each one of these books has been a winner of the E.B White Read Aloud Award. Now, E.B White, he wrote Stuart Little, he wrote Charlotte's Web, and if those ones still don't ring a bell, they probably do, but you might also be familiar with him because of this book, The Elements of Style. So in 2004, the Association of Booksellers for Children wanted to create an award that would reward authors for writing pieces of children's literature that really embodied the kind of read aloud standards that E.B White championed in all of his works. And we're going to start all the way back in 2017. Now, Do His Talk, written and illustrated by Carson Ellis, published by Candlewick Press. As I said, it came out in 2017, won the E.B White Read Aloud Award that year, but not only that, it was also a Caldecott honor winner, which is not the top one, but there's some honor awards, a different award. We can talk about that in a different video. Also a good place to check him out. But right now, let's dive into this book. Carson takes us through the life of a flower, as seen by the insects that surround it. The book covers so much in so little time, all while exposing us to the imaginary language of the bugs. Even though the words are foreign, Du is tak, manazut. The meaning is easily uncovered by readers both young and old. We see life and death through the seasonal passage of the flower, tension and resolution as a spider usurps the plant, only to be eaten by a bird. And a community as several insects come together to enjoy the beauty of the fully blossomed flower. The ending is just as sweet as spring thaws once again. We learn that the flower's death last winter came with the promise of an even more beautiful year ahead. This one's a lot of fun. I also like it because my kids or any kids that I've given it to as a gift, I always kind of wonder, this book's a little different, you know, the words aren't really there, are they going to enjoy it? Every page is pretty much the same because you have the same scene in every one, and then it just goes, as it goes through, the flower grows. But kids love it. They love to see that. They can understand the environment. They can understand what's different in this page compared to the one before. There's all kinds of things to look for as the spider comes in. Probably is going to scare your kids, at least mine, you know, if they're 2 to 3, that'll probably scare them a little bit, but they get over it because, you know, this is real life and you got to deal with spiders. So it's a good lesson here. Now, let's jump ahead a year to 2018, and this one is probably one of my absolute favorite books. Now, I picked this book up before I started paying too much attention to the names of the authors and illustrators that were on the picture books that we were reading to our kids. And then after a while, I was like, I want to figure this out. So every time I'd look, Mac Barnett, sweet. Start reading another one. I'm like, this one's really good. Mac Barnett. Reading another one, I'm like, oh, babe, our kid, he really loves that Mac Barnett book. Mac Barnett, Mac Barnett, Mac Barnett. That name kept coming up. And now I just know that it's basically a seal of quality, or at least a seal of a book that I am gonna like, because he just keeps pumping out these awesome books. You go back to his first books, they're fantastic. You go back to his recent books, they're fantastic. I love them, and that's not even getting into, I don't wanna belittle the fact that John Klassen is also here on this book, because I love that guy's books too, and when the two of them start working together, I should just say that this is not the first book that Mac Barnett and John Klassen have won an E.B White Read Aloud Award on. You go back to 2013, way back, Extra Yarn, which is a great read. Then you jump up to 2015, Sam and Dave Dig a Hole. It's a deep hole. What an adventure they go on, but that's also a good one. And this one, as I said, my favorite, The Wolf, the Duck, and the Mouse. let's have a look inside. This is the story of a mouse that gets eaten by a wolf and meets a duck that lives in the wolf's stomach. The mouse is surprised, much as the reader will be, by how spacious, well-furnished, and amply supplied a wolf's stomach is. The duck goes on to explain how much safer it is inside a wolf's stomach. The mouse asks the duck if he can stay. The duck agrees, and they celebrate. All this dancing gives the wolf a stomachache, causing him to moan, and that eventually alerts a hunter. The hunter chases the wolf gets tangled up in some roots, and the mouse and the duck realize that this could be the end. In a final attempt to save their home, the two fly out of the wolf's mouth to defend him. This uncommon scene terrifies the hunter, and he runs. The wolf, safe once more, feels indebted to the two small creatures, and he promises to do anything to repay them. They ask to be eaten up once more. I love this book. Mac wastes no words on this one, and it really gives the story this feeling of an old legend that's kind of been retold time after time. It's funny without being full of jokes. The characters are so matter-of-fact in this absurd situation that it just makes it funny and great to read. John Klassen's illustrations, always a fan of, so it's great to have them in here too. Lots of fun. Give it a read. You're gonna love it. Crack that spine, for sure. Okay, let's jump ahead to that book, to our past, but that book's future, to 2019, the most recent winner of the E.B White Read Aloud Award, this guy. All right, so Don't Eat Your Classmates, author, illustrator Ryan T. Higgins. This is also not the first time Ryan T. Higgins has been a winner of the E.B White Read Aloud Award. If we had just gone 1 year further back in our list to 2016, we would have seen his book, Mother Bruce, where a bear gets a hold of some goslings, and it's a hilarious story also. But we can't go back that far, so let's talk about this one. We Don't Eat Our Classmates is the story of Penelope the T-Rex. It's her first day of school, and, like anyone, she's both excited and nervous. When she gets to school, she's a little bit surprised to find out that all of her classmates are children. So she eats them, because children are delicious. This delightful little twist sets the tone of the book, as Penelope continues to struggle to make new friends at school, while simultaneously being unable to curb the ever-present urge to eat her classmates. She goes home at the end of the day to talk with her dad about it, and he gives her some good fatherly advice. "Sometimes it's hard to make friends," he tells her, "especially if you eat them." Penelope tries to stop eating her peers on day 2, but she just can't help herself. So she tries to make friends with the class goldfish. Only that doesn't go according to plan. Once Penelope understands how awful it feels to be eaten, she stops eating her classmates, and she even starts making some friends. This is a really fun one. I like it. The illustrations are so bright. It's got a very different feel than the other two that we just looked at. You know, the juxtaposition of having the little T-Rex hanging out with all the children. The fact that you empathize with Penelope because she's going on her first day at school, and we understand what that feels like to be nervous in a new situation, but also she keeps eating people, and we usually don't empathize with people who eat people. So Penelope learns a lesson. She learns a little bit about empathy. Maybe you'll learn a little bit about empathy too, and maybe your kids will if you read this book with them. But I guarantee one thing, you'll probably laugh. And why not spread a little bit of joy? Ryan T. Higgins is doing it when he writes these books. So let's buy one of his books, and that'll probably give him some joy, give you and your family some joy, give me some joy to know that you're reading a great book with your kids, you're cracking spines, I'm doing the line again, and you're opening minds. That's what we're doing here. That's my list of all 3 books. So why don't you go and pick one of them up? Get them from the library, get them from your local bookstore, go down and get them from Amazon, whatever works for you. And if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of these, well, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you stick around, I'll see you the next time we do one of these. Thanks.